Good evening, all. It is my privilege to introduce today's moderator, Ms. Sarabjit Kaur. Ms. Sarabjit Kaur is a seasoned education professional with a decade of experience, having begun her career with esteemed organization Pro Technologies and NIT, where she honed her skills in technology. Driven by a passion for teaching and learning, she successfully established her own pre-primary school in Ahmedabad. Transitioning into the education sector, she served as a TGT maths and computer teacher and later took on the role of primary coordinator, guiding and supporting her colleagues, staff, and early educators in their professional development. Her commitment to empowering both students and educators has been a constant driving force. Currently, she is pursuing a certification in child psychology to deepen her understanding of young minds and further her dedication to creating supportive learning environments. Ms. Kaur is proud of her accomplishments and looks forward to continuing to make a positive impact in the education sector. Hearty welcome, Ms. Sarabjit. Please proceed. We wish you all the best.
Thank you so much. Good evening, everybody. I extend a warm welcome to our distinguished group of teachers and educators on behalf of Extra Mile, which is a unique platform offering both online and offline training. It was founded by Dr. Abdul Salam sir, who is also a visionary behind BTEG. With a strong network of expert trainers, Extra Mile is fully equipped to deliver on-demand training, on-site training throughout India. I want to start by sincerely thanking Dr. Abdul Salam sir and Extra Mile Education Training for this incredible opportunity given to me. Immersive learning is an innovative approach to education that stimulates real-world experiences, making learning more engaging, interactive, and effective. Extra Mile, along with the expertise of our resource person, Ms. Martina, ma'am, you can explore the following aspects of immersive learning, like virtual field trips, Google Earth in your classroom, AR, VR simulations, virtual labs, practical implications, and future directions. I am honored to present Dr. Abdul Sir is a distinguished figure. Like, he's in education sector. He has given extensive contributions as a CBSE resource person and a master trainer as well. He has significantly impacted educational standards in India throughout his role as an assessor of National Accreditation Board for Education and Training under the Government of India. As a founder and CEO of Extra Mile Education and Training and the Bharat Transformers Education Group, that is BTEG, Dr. Salam sir is a forefront of initiatives aimed in enhancing learning experiences, education outcomes. His dedication to education is truly inspiring. It's an honor, sir, to have you join us today. Please share your welcome remarks with our audience.
Thank you, Ms. Sarabjit Kaur. Welcome on board, as well
Thank you, sir.
as well as Martina ma'am. And dear participants, respected Biju sir, we are very glad to present two more new faces. Actually, they are not new, but here they are new. They have been serving the education sector for many years. And Sarabjit Kaur has started her own school for the kindergarteners. So very well experienced educators are coming forward to contribute to the education industry, to help the educators. In fact, it's very interesting to learn new things. I was very much interested when Martina ma'am offered this particular session. This topic covers a lot of things, a lot of new things, which will connect reality to the students' learning. There are a lot of things we can take away today and implement in the classroom with very little effort, I should say. So thank you so much, Martin and ma'am, for offering this topic. And as like everyone, we are very eager to listen to you. And definitely we will be able to help each and everyone as they are expecting. So thank you so much. Hearty welcome once again to Extra Mile Education and Training. Over to Sarabjit Kaur. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Great words and setting up the stage for the discussion today. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are also privileged to have with us Mr. Biju, sir. He is the co-founder of BTAG with vast experience in the education sector, including his role as a principal of several re-owned CBSE schools. Mr. Pillai has made a significant contributions to this field. We are thrilled to have you here, sir. We will be delighted if you could deliver the opening address.
Thank you, Sarabjit ma'am. Most respected Program Director Abdul Salam sir, today's resource person Martina ma'am, and all other respected personalities on the dais. As usual, today also we have come with the most important topic, immersive learning. And as you know, making the children sit for at least 30 minutes or 40 minutes inside a classroom and get the concentration for, you know that psychologically more than 20 minutes we cannot take the concentration of any children. So making them interesting and making the classroom situation, the methodology also more interesting so that their long-term memory can be utilized. And the teaching learning methodology, if it is striking and if it is making the children interesting, they will naturally love that subject and that teacher also. So that methodology, how technologically we can make it interesting. Today we are going to have such a session from our respected personality, Martina. So hope that this evening will be a great achievement for all the teachers to improve their way of methodology. So once again, I welcome all the respected personalities to this evening. Thank you all.
Such great words, sir. Dear educators, let's move on to the today's highlight. Resource person for today's session is Miss Martina D. Gomes. Miss Martina ma'am currently serves as academic supervisor, head of assessments and social science department mentor at JSS Private School, Dubai. Her previous teaching experiences include St. James School and Aditya Academy Senior Secondary School, Kolkata. She holds several prestigious certifications and awards, such as being Microsoft Innovative Educator Expert 2024 and 25 and a GESS 2024 finalist for outstanding contribution in education, and earning ISO 19011 lead auditor and train the trainer certificates. Martina boasts an impressive education background with an MSc in Geography from Loreto College, Kolkata, and a BSc Geography with Economics and Political Science, a BEd in Geography and Economics, and has cleared MOE leadership test as well as qualified for UGC NET lectureship. Ma'am, we are very delighted to have you with us today. On behalf of all the present educators here, I extend heartfelt welcome. So let's start the session and learn how we'll be well prepared to navigate the exciting technological landscape for the future. I now welcome Miss Martina, ma'am, to take over the session for the evening.
Thank you, Sarabjit ma'am. A very warm welcome to respected Salam sir, Beju sir, and our moderator, along with all the educators. So I'm glad for today's session and for the opportunity that I'm getting today. And I hope so that from today's session, all of us will be learning, including myself, from your responses. So I'm seeking a time where everyone will be quite active and contributing in today's presentation. So I shall be starting my presentation and the session today. Is my screen visible to everyone?
Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So we are starting with today's session, that is immersive learning. Augment your knowledge, discover learning in new dimensions. So we are going to see how we can provide an opportunity to our students to learn in a new dimension. So before we start, I request everyone to just scan this QR code. I'm going to also put it in the chat box so that everybody can contribute for this. I'm just going to put this code in the chat box. Everyone can please join in and provide your contributions to this. How do you interpret the concept of immersive learning? You can even join with the code 79104600. Thank you. Yes, inclusive. Involved, engaging, interactive. Yes, these are very much some of the elements of immersive learning. Engagement. Yes, interactive. Yes, that's the key word, one of it. Can we get more responses? I hope everyone can log in. In experimental, yes, interactive and joyful. Understanding the need, yes, very much. Critical thinking, yes. Collaborative, yes, very much. Impactful, yes, impactful. I think interactive one, which most of us are writing. Correlate with life, yes, we can definitely. The students can correlate with life. Enhances learning, yes, it does enhances learning. Involved, impactful, engagement, engaging, activity-oriented, yes. Correlate, yes. Okay, educators, I think most of you have understood the concept very well. That's wonderful. So we are going to proceed now with already a concept which I think most of us have an idea in this 21st century, and we are going to dive into it to understand it much better. So going on to today's agenda, we have divided the today's session into 7 parts. That is, firstly, can I have somebody to read, please? Because it's now me going on talking. If I can have a volunteer who can read the agenda for today. Can I have any volunteer? Yes, Smita ma'am, thank you.
Yes, good evening, ma'am.
Good
Good
evening.
evening, one and all here. The agenda is part 1, objectives and introduction. Part 2, instructional models. Part 3, virtual field trips. Part 4, Google Earth. Part 5, augmented reality, virtual reality, and simulations. Part 6, policies, challenges, and future directions. Part 7, conclusion and training evaluation.
Thank you so much, Smita ma'am. Yes, so we are going to proceed with our today's discussion and pointers. Going on to the next slide, which is our objectives and introduction. So we are going to see the outline of today's program, which I have divided into 4 major objectives. And I will not read it entirely, but I will just tell you the highlights of it. That is understanding immersive learning and its significance in the modern education. Then we are going to discuss the various tools and technologies which will help us in facilitating immersive learning. We are going to see how does it have an impact on the students' engagement, motivations by sharing certain case studies also. And then what are the challenges which are lying ahead of us? So these are the broad outlines of this today's training. So now, what is immersive learning? So when we see the picture, and I have even highlighted few of the keywords. Can I have somebody to just, if you can just put in your chat other than what is written over here and what you put right now. Okay, so what are the major highlights? If you can put it in the chat, and we can see that what are the major areas which outlines immersive learning right now when we see keyword, maybe a word which is an umbrella term for everything which you see over here and the terms which we saw in Mentimeter. Any one umbrella term which you would like to assign to immersive learning? You can use your chat, please. I request everyone to actively participate so that we can have a fun session and have some takeaways post this training. Oh, yes, I already got it. Holistic development, activity-oriented learning, simulated learning by doing. Any more? Yes, I'm going to take the keyword, which you can see over here, simulated. That is a real life scenario, which we are going to learn in. So all this, whether be it augmented reality, or whether be it virtual reality, or whether be it a mixed reality situation and simulated, all of them are a real life situation, a stimulation where we feel that we are in a new scenario, and in that we have a much better opportunity to learn. So if you can see the keywords which I have highlighted, it is an experiential training methodology. It provides opportunity for deep learning. It reduces cognitive load. What do you mean by cognitive load? Can I get anyone who can give me the meaning of this term, cognitive load? You can raise your hand, please, or maybe you can post on the chat also. What is the meaning of the term cognitive load? Okay, something relating to the brain. Yes, Smita ma'am. Thinking, creative thinking. Yes. So what exactly is cognitive load and how does this immersive learning helps us? When we as educators, sometimes we are posing complex problems and situations and a big situation, okay, like a history or whether be it physics or something, and we are explaining to the students, we feel that yes, the content is quite comprehensive and the students will understand. But sometimes they are not able to grasp that concept, especially when students are in different levels. So this immersive learning methodology helps them to chunk the big concept into easy, more simpler forms in which they can accept. So yes, virtual environment, that's the key term. So proceeding with it, we are going to dive more towards the concept. So now we are going to start with the instructional models of which are supporting the immersive learning methodology. So if you can see that I have written 4 different learning models, which is their instructional models, which is given by Edgar Dale, One of Experience, David Kolb's Experiential Learning Theory, Alan Pavio's Dual Coding Theory, Jean Leif and Etienne Wenge's Situated Learning Theory. Now, what task I want each one of you to find out is I'm going to give you a 1-minute task in which you're going to find out what is common between these 4 learning or instructional models, which is there. Just 1 minute or 2 minutes probably. What is common between these 4 instructional models? Please take your time, find out what is common. I think most of us have come across this when we were doing our B.Ed or when we are referring researchers and we are finding out this, or when we want to bring in some new kind of methodology for our students and we are finding which is the best method, what is common in them? Experiential learning, yes, methods. What else? What else is common? Clear objectives, yes, it is having clear objectives. What else? Child-centered, okay. Yes. Any more, please? Thank you, Smita ma'am, Thomas ma'am, and yes, Sultana Begum ma'am, to yes, dual methods, yes, very much. Thank you for contributing. So I'll just highlight the major pointers, which is common for all 4 of them. That is experiential learning, yes, very much. Active learning, integration of multiple modalities, and contextual learning. So which is quite common, and that's what we are going to discuss today in our today's presentation. So now I hope enough of the introduction of today's learning training. So are we all ready to unlock potential with immersive learning experiences? So we'll go straight away to the various tools and technologies. First, I'm going to start and give a background, and then I'm going to demonstrate each of these methods. So while I'm doing it, I request everyone, if you have your systems, you have your mobile phone or your laptops, just try it out yourself too. Okay, I'm going to share these links so that you can simultaneously try it out. So first, with the virtual field trips. Now, purpose of virtual field trip, let's see what it is about. I want again a volunteer to please read this. Someone who can read it. Any volunteer, please? Yes, Priyanka ma'am, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am. The first provides first-hand observation experience. Second, sparks curiosity and imagination. Third, provides real life and authentic experience. Fourth, students learn both knowledge and develop skills. And the last is sense of enjoyment.
Thank you so much. Yes, and if we see at the start, what is mentioned over here, purpose of virtual educational field trip. Please note that this is same as on-site educational field trip. It's nothing different, but the platform is the one which is different. So whenever we plan for any kind of educational field trip, what kind of objectives we keep in mind is this totally the same for a virtual field trip. So now if we see the broader kind of pin mark or pointers roadmap, which is there for conducting a virtual field trip. The first one is roadmap, that is planning the journey. How are we going to plan the journey before we go for a virtual field trip? Then during the virtual field trip, there are certain kind of passport stamps, which is there. That is engaging them during the journey. How are you going to engage them? And then post the virtual field trip finishes off, they need to reflect what did they learn. So that's the final destination, reflection and follow-up. So we can divide a virtual field trip whenever as educators, whether we do a field trip on-site version or a virtual, we ensure that it has a flow. Whenever we select a site, ensure that we have a clear defined goals. It should be aligned with the grade, with the curriculum, and the students should be involved in the planning. Then while there is a kind of virtual field trip, ensure that the students are taking a participating, and there is a note-taking session also. You can provide them a pre-given format, or you can just ask them to have a summary written of what they see. And then based on the field trip, have a kind of assessment, a debriefing session to see how much they understood. Only then a field trip will be successful. So going on with it, if you can see, our focus for today is going to be the virtual field trip, where we are going to go virtual educational field trip to a hydroelectric or a hydropower dam. Lesson objective, examine how dams generate electricity and evaluate its role in water management and conservation. So as you can see, as I've given one template over here, where you can go for a virtual field trip, have a clear set objective, and students know what are they going to learn. I've given one format over here. As educators, you can also have your own kind of format developed based on what is the demand, what is the objective. So like students' name, grade and section, which place are they going to visit? They will be interested. Yes, it's not just a video, but we are going actually for a field trip that will spark curiosity in your lesson. Date of the virtual visit, then make a list of the things which you saw. What did they learn about? What was the favorite part about it? So you can have a report created for the virtual field trip. Before you go, explain to them how to go ahead with it. So now we are going to start with this virtual field trip. I'm going to share the link so that after I finish it off, because while I'm doing it, I want to share how it is. I want to show the demonstration. Post that, I will be sharing the link so that you can explore the virtual tour on your own. So if you can see virtual field trip to Brookfield Hydroelectric Power Plant, we are going to go. And I have given one question for the students, that is create a summary report on the virtual field trip to Brookfield Hydropower Plant. So before I start, can I get somebody to find out where is this Brookfield Hydropower Plant? Then we are going to go and see how does the power plant looks like. Can you please put your responses so that we come to see where is this Brookfield hydropower plant? Use your Google search engine and find out where is Brookfield hydropower plant. Where are we going to go? Can we have respondents actively participating, please? Okay, USA. Thank you so much. It's in USA, very much. So we are going to see now I'm going to show the demonstration of this. Okay, I hope everyone can see my screen of a Brookfield power plant. Is it visible? Can I get a thumbs up or something?
Sarabjit ma'am, is it visible to
Yes,
you?
ma'am. Yes,
Yes,
ma'am,
yes.
it's visible.
Okay, thank you
It's
so
visible.
much. Yes, so Brookfield Power is a leading producer, if you can see, and as we already got the response that it is in America, yes, you can see it is in northeast section of North America. So we are going to go. So first thing which we see that it is a 360-degree view of this power plant. We can explore it and see how does a power plant or a dam looks like. What are the various control rooms which is there? So before we see, if you can look over here, this is the dam. You're going to teach to everyone. When you teach to your students, first show the outline. If you can see, wherever you press the cursor, it will give the information of the dam. So we see that the dam starting point is the reservoir and the dam. And then slowly when we are going to go, we are going to navigate the controls. You're going to go to the gatehouse and the spillway, which actually, this, if you can see this kind of gate, so whenever we have a high flood or a low flood, you can actually control it with this gatehouse and the spillway, which directly goes, if you can see, to the turbines. So there are different rooms, breaker room, you can see remote control room, then you can see the powerhouse, you can see the turbines and the substation and the surge tank. So now we are going to start. I'm going to take you, I'm going to go slow because some of you might have a low internet connection so that everybody can see. So this is the first one. How does the dam look like? And then we are going to see the rest of the section. You can show to your students and ask them to make a note. What do they see whenever they are going? Even you can give the link to the students and ask them to, if you have Teams or Zoom, you can have a chat room discussion and then ask them to give pointers. So we'll go first to the gatehouse and the spillway, the very first room. So you can see over here, this is how a gatehouse looks like, and it can control. It is involved mainly in water management and flood control. You can open the gates and close it and accordingly control the flood and the amount of water which is there. So you can move around and see how does it look like. If you can see over here. So now we are going to go to the next room. You can see there is an arrow mark. So once you click on, like the real way when we conduct an educational field trip, in this way also we can go in the virtual field trip too. So then going again to the next section, the third room, which is the powerhouse. You can see also there are informations which is put, like what is the powerhouse? It contains turbines, generators, associated equipment used for production of electricity. There are even these videos. So if we click on it, you can also understand the structure, the working of these turbines. So then this is how the room looks like. You can see the room over here. And then if we go down, you can just use your drag screen to move. And then there is again another arrow mark to go to the next room, which is the turbines. So we are going to see now the turbine. You can see how does a turbine look like, and there is a shaft and a generator. When I click this eye, you can see the picture of a turbine generation, which is illustrated. The various components of it, the part, and how does the water flow goes in, the turbines move around, and how electricity is generated. So then we see this turbine, and let's go around again the controls. You can move around and see all around it. How does it look like? And then there is again our next arrow to go to the next room, which is the breaker room. So now we see the breaker room, and you can see that the equipment in the breaker room, it is controlling all the switches, all the controls and the switches and the electricity which is produced in the rest of the rooms. So then how big, if you show, like if we just tell dams to the students, they will know, okay, these are Damodar Valley corporations and Hirakud Dam and Nagarjuna Sagar Dam, Rana Pratap Sagar Dam. But then when we show this, they will actually be able to relate to it, that how does it look like? That is not just one feature of it, but multiple features which are there. Now, from the breaker room, we are going to go to the substation and the surge tanks. So you can see how enormous it is. Okay, the controls, the substation, the surge tanks, which is there. And then there's another arrow mark, which is going to show the aerial view of this entire dam. So you can see it's a huge complex of working. Number of people are involved in this kind of activity, and that's why we often call these dams nowadays as multi-purpose river projects. Now going to the control room, you can see the control room. From a control room, you can see operators, this person, how he can control and monitor the facility. And all the other facilities he can control through these. So then again, going through the control room, you can see how there are different systems which is there. And then from here, the remote control room we are going to go. So remote control room means it is operated 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And they are quite far away, but they can control the entire system. So that's how a remote control room looks like. And we can see over here, the final segment, which is the control room, is going to lead to the trading and marketing. So whichever electricity they are generating, they are going to go to the trading and marketing system. If you can see that this team is responsible for efficiently and strategically optimizing the sale and delivery of power produced by our operations to the marketplace. So then, if you can see, this is how we are now coming back to our today's session. So I hope you learned about virtual field trip, how to conduct it. So first, before I proceed, I would like to see that the basic procedure where what did you learn? Let's have a kind of mid-plenary session, how we have during our lessons. So let's see a mid-plenary session that if you are going to conduct a virtual field trip, what are the key essentials which you need to consider? I want you to please put in the chat box the key essential things which is required for conducting a virtual field trip. And thank you, Smita ma'am, for the feedback. Can everyone please put in their pointers of learning which you learned from virtual field trip? what did you learn? That how are we going to, if as an educator, if you have to conduct a virtual field trip, what things you should have? We had whatever we learned. If you can just put in what kind of key essential things are required, if you can summarize, or somebody can just can volunteer to talk. I would like to hear more voices, please. Can you please raise your hand and just somebody speak? Would like to hear somebody to talk.
Yeah, ma'am, it was really very, very amazing and very innovative topic to learn. And it will be very interesting for everyone, especially in science class, to understand and visualize the things how it is actually working. And we have few responses.
Yes, thank you so much. So clear objectives. Yes, thank you so much. Very much. We have to have a clear objective. We have to decide the platform. There has to be interactive sessions, which is there when you are conducting a virtual field trip. Now going on to the next segment of our
Miss
today's.
Martina, sorry to interrupt. Where can we get
Yes, sir.
these links, virtual tour
I will be
links?
sharing. Yes, I will be sharing, sir, shortly after
Yeah.
I finish this segment, and I will tell you more links, not just the one which I have shown everyone, but I will be also sharing few other resources,
Correct.
platforms where we can get. So
Correct.
thank you, sir. I will be doing that.
Thank you.
Yes. So I'll just straight away actually share this link so that you can explore. Everyone can just explore right away. Virtual field trip. Sorry. I will be sharing just shortly after this session. I'll give that link to everyone.
All right.
And then, yes, so then let's brainstorm. I think we already had a lot of brainstorming sessions, but then now I would like to see that if there are different age groups, if I am a primary teacher, I'm a middle school teacher, or a secondary or a senior secondary, the virtual field trip is applicable to everyone, but what kind of location, destination will we plan to take students in this virtual field trip? Can you give, like, for example, the responses which I'm expecting is you give primary and then you give the places which you would like to take. Then you give secondary or middle school and then you write the places which you would like to take them. Oh, yes, I got it already. Thank you so much, Fahima ma'am. Kindergarten, neighborhood. Yes, wonderful. So we can take that. Middle school, museum, planetarium. Yes, we can very much take them to planetarium and museum. Natural History Museum, zoo. Yes. Space Center. Wow, that's something interesting. Railway Museum. Yes, thank you so much, Aarti ma'am. That's something really interesting. Senior secondary, industry, factory, history landmarks. Yes, thank you so much for your active participation. Yes, these are some of the destinations which we can take to these places. I will just share some of the links where you can do. Even this current one, I will give it. But as of now, I'm just sharing extra resources of certain other links which you can explore. Even this virtual Brookfield power plant, if you can search on Google, you will get it definitely. But I will just go through it. Yes. So we're carrying forward with it. Now we are going to start with another interesting. So we have covered one part, just a summarization, brief summarization. We have done objectives, introduction, the instructional models. We have started with the virtual field trip. Now we are in the part 4, that is effectively using Google Earth in the lesson. It is something which all students will love. It's like a space of learning and they are going to love it, whether they have an individual device or even if not on an individual basis, as a whole class also, they are going to love it. So now this Google Earth, it will bring the world inside your classroom. So that's something really interesting, which we are going to learn about. So before I start this, I'm going to say that I'm going to show the presentation first, and then slowly I will show the demonstration. For that, I want you to also toggle the controls in your system, which you can easily do it. So then starting with the introduction to Google Earth, and I please want some volunteer to read this. You can raise your hand. Anyone? Introduction to Google Earth. Yes, Nisha ma'am, thank you so much. Yes, Nisha ma'am. Nisha ma'am, can you please read? Anyone, please? Or I can see other than Nisha ma'am. Yes. Yes, please read.
Yeah. Introduction to Google Earth, multi-dimensional atlas, satellite imaginary and street view, imagery and street view, and historical imagery, layers of information, educational and research applications, thrives on community contribution.
Thank you so much. So we can see that for Google Earth, it is a multi-dimensional atlas. When we were small, we were very much fond of that atlas book, which we would get in school. And even now, many of our schools do still have this atlas. And it should be there. We should have different. When we learned about multiple modalities. So even different kinds of method should still continue. But then this platform provides a multi-dimensional atlas. It is giving you two kinds of views, satellite imageries and street view. We are going to learn how historical images, time-lapse features are there. There are different kind of layers which is there. And then if you are doing a kind of research, you can use this platform. And the last point is so much essential that it will develop more when you contribute to it more. So then we are going to learn slowly more about it. So first thing, how to go ahead. If you can just along with me when I'm showing the demonstration, if you can along with me put the controls. So if you can go to Google and then you see this kind of pointers dots which are there, click on it, and then you see this globe logo, you click on that, Earth. So then your Google Earth will be opening for you. Now, what are the methods which you are going to use? Few things. If you would like to search for it, there is a search bar on top. You have to click for it. If you want to move around, you can drag simply with your mouse. There is a plus or a minus sign, or you can just simply use, if it's a touchscreen laptop, you can use it with your fingers to zoom in and zoom out. And then whichever area, designated area you want to click on, just hold and drag the screen. There are different versions to it, so which will differ from individual to individual. Now coming to the next slide, if we can see. So in this slide, I'm going to focus mainly on the layer options. So for example, you can see over here, there are different kind of layers, whether you wanted no border, no labels, places or roads, or you want to explore, have an exploration kind of layer where there will be borders, labels, places and roads, everything. There are layers such as 3D coverage, grid lines, animated clouds, all these features are there. So if you can see, if you want to questions like, I've given one example, you can have more. Like activity you can give to the students in Google Earth. You can utilize Google Earth to identify the countries that lie along the Tropic of Cancer. So you put the layer line and show the latitudes and the longitudes. So if you are teaching to your grade 6 students about latitudes and longitudes, and then you're asking them, find the countries which are lying along this Tropic of Cancer. And what is the degree of it, then students can easily, if we just teach them, they will not remember. But when we show them, they explore it, they are getting that first-hand experience, and they are going to learn more about it. So you can see, other than that, just the latitude and the longitude, they can learn more about country borders, places, roads, physical features, terrains, cloud covers, and so on. Now, this till now, we were seeing that, okay, it can be like a geography lesson, where, or maybe probably a math lesson where you can explore. Now, if it is an English lesson, how will you connect to it? So we know, all of us, if you are an English teacher or as a student, we learned about The Merchant of Venice by William Shakespeare. And then they taught about Venice. But then, if I have to relate, how does Venice look like? Definitely, you can show pictures, but when you get to actually see the street of Venice without even spending a flight ticket or a hotel booking, and you come to explore the streets of it, how much inclusive and opportunities we are giving to the students, that is totally on a different level. It will also bring in our cross-curricular link where we are going to learn English along with geography, context, and using technology also. If you can see, there will be a feature of Street View. I'm going to actually show you these things, but as of now, I'm just showing the major highlights, and then we are going to have a demonstration session. So now the next, another form. So we discussed right now, just let me recapitulate and go a little bit slowly. So first we discussed about the controls. Then we discussed about the layers which are there. Some activity, one example I gave, like finding the countries along the Tropic of Cancer. You can have many other such. Then one more example which I gave was linking English lesson using Google Earth. The third one, if you would like students to find out about UNESCO World Heritage Site and create a project, like we right now, you know that CBSE is focusing on competency learning. So we also have right now this performance task based assessments, which is there based on how much your competency are going to be assessed, project-based learning. So we can have all this and through using projects in Google Classroom. So this is the UNESCO World Heritage Sites, whichever we are preserving, and you can learn. So I have done this project. Similarly, you can also do a project of your own. You can see over here how to create project. If in case you are opening a Google and Google Earth is already open for you, there is a new button. When we press on this new button, you can create a new project. So first try to explore it and then give it to your students. So first step is create project. Then you told them, okay, find 3 UNESCO World Heritage Sites and create a project on it. So I have selected, like, for example, Kaziranga National Park. It is one of the UNESCO World Heritage Site, Mount Etna, Sundarbans. So then there are different features. Now, when you want to select it, there is this symbol which you can see. The symbol is called a place mark. So you can put this place mark. As you can see, I have put this place mark. So I have put the place mark, and then I'm just trying to link it so that easily I can navigate from one UNESCO heritage site to the other, and I can dive into it. I have written over here Sundarbans, Bangladesh. There are 2. Okay, so both in India as well as in Bangladesh, both are World Heritage Sites, which is there. So this place mark is there. So that's how we can make a project. So again, going slowly, you should know how a Google Earth, from where to search it. Secondly, you can have like different layer zones in it. Thirdly, you can link it with some English lesson. Then you can create a project on it. That's how we are going to have. So before I have the question now, I'm going to demonstrate to you Google Earth, which is there. So now I hope everybody can see my Google Earth. You can see my Google Earth. Can somebody please respond? Yes. So this is the Google Earth. You can see anywhere on the globe we can go to. We can navigate and go. Again, I'm going to explain the features. So this is the layer. If you can see, so I did right now everything. If you want to see no borders and just explore, you can see it, see that. And then if you can see over here, I've done already. If you want to see the latitudes and the longitudes, you just put, and you can see over here, which are the states, which are the countries, which are lying along the Tropic of Cancer, you can simply just turn around and view it. And accordingly, you can ask your students. Sometimes in grade 10, if it is an ICSE syllabus board, we also ask them to find the grid line using topographical sheets. Over here also, you can learn that and show it to your students. You can even link with mathematics lessons too. So then this is your different features which are there. You can go around and see grid lines, cloud cover also, astronomy, linking it to astronomy lessons and so on. You can put that. And then, for example, if I would like the Venice, which I saw, Merchant of Venice. So let's see about Venice. You just use the search button and then you go to Venice, which is over here. So then directly they are leading and taking us to Venice. So I'm going to zoom in Venice. And then if you can see down on the right side of my screen, it is written as 3D. So then the 3D view of Venice will be visible. If you can look over here, 3D view of Venice street is visible right now. So wherever you would like to go, you can see over here how Venice looks like. And look over here. So then this is how Venice 3D view looks like. Now, if you would like to go to the streets of Venice, you can also do that. So you can see a human figure which is there, and then it is written enter street view. So you just press on it, and then all the places you cannot enter, but wherever there is blue, you can enter that street. So if I'm clicking on this, they are going to take me to that street, and it's a water area which is there, if you can see. Okay, so this is a water zone which is there in Venice. And again, coming back to it, I want to go to another street. So let's go to another street. So then again, you can see there we are coming to another street, and then this arrow mark is there. You can navigate through it. They are going to take you. You can move further and further and explore how does it look like. You can see the names of the streets which is written on it and go further. So how much more they can learn by going to these streets and knowing about the heritage, the culture, about people, the architecture of the buildings, which they can come to know about. So a lot more information which our students will gain from this. Now coming back to it again, now I will show you also the kind of the project which I was talking about. So when you want to make a project, you ask your students, just create project, and you do create. You write over here create, which I've already done, like the UNESCO World Heritage Sites. So if you can see over here, this is the project which I have done. And you can, if the students have covered and you're asking them to come one at a time and present it. So then there is this share slideshow option, and it will automatically play and they can gradually talk about it. So this is the Gondwana Rainforest, Australia, which is there. Then going to the next one, it will automatically go to the next UNESCO heritage site, that is the Sundarbans in Bangladesh. Then it will take us to Kazim Park, and then it will take us to the next one, which is Mount Etna in Italy. So they can learn, you can see over here, so much more they can learn about it. How does Mount Etna look like? Which would not be possible if for everyone to get this first-hand experience to go there and learn. But you can see over here with the help of Google Earth, how we can dive into different locations, different terrains, physiographic divisions, and connect it to so many subjects. And then you can see over here, the next one, that's how the entire way they can link and create a project. So that was the summary of our Google Earth. It is vast. It is just one example. And as educators, please ensure that we first try it. We should always keep on upgrading our skills, learning more, and then the students are going to enjoy and learn much better. So now I showed you a few examples. What more? This is again a brainstorming session. So long I was talking. Let me now see your responses. Let's brainstorm. How can Google Earth be integrated into science, English, and math lessons? One more feature before I talk about that. Sorry, teachers. There is one more feature which you can use is over here. Measure distance and area. So you can also measure any kind of 2 points are given. You can use measuring of distance, which is there. Also, if you can see, there is one more feature, which is historical imagery, which is there, and also a time lapse. If you can see over here, there is a time lapse, activate historical imagery, and there is a time lapse. If you can go to different places, you can see how the population structure, the settlements, it changed. So you can go to any location, and if you can go in the past and see, this is the past satellite imageries. So even there is time lapse feature which is there. So what are the, let us summarize the different kind of features. First is adding place mark. Then you can add polygons or path. You can measure distances. You can know the time lapse in the past. You can learn about population structure. You can learn about different terrains, about cloud covers, about grid system, going exactly into the 3D or the 2D mode, street view mode, or making a project. So these are the features. So now let's get back. Sorry for that interruption. Let's now come into the brainstorming section, which is how much more. You saw the features. Now, if you have to plan for a lesson, which all lessons could you link? If you are whichever great teacher and you have to use Google Earth, which lesson would you use? Okay, wow, I've got so much. Yes. So let me see your responses, which is natural vegetation and wildlife. Yes. Last lesson in grade 12 English. Okay. And then understanding my world, math, distance between places, geographical grid. Thank you so much, teachers, for coming up with wonderful topics. Pat your pet, animal kingdom, latitude and longitude. Yes. Okay, I think I've got global warming. Yes, very much. Mathematics, find the coordinate of the UNESCO heritage places. Very much. Kindergarten, my beautiful world, historical place. Yes, thank you, teacher. So now it's time for us to think further and explore, link it with your lesson. How you're
Excuse
going
me,
to go.
ma'am.
Yes, thank you so much. Yes.
Ma'am, Smita ma'am wants to ask you about the climate lesson.
Yes, Smita ma'am, please go ahead.
Smita Swami, she's asking, ma'am wanted to know about climate lesson.
Climate lesson. Okay, in climate lesson, also probably if you can't, probably the cloud cover, that section can be probably taught through the climate lesson. Or even if we are talking about global warming, and then we can see like through the future of the time lapse, we can see that, okay, which were ice covered areas, is there any kind of reduction in the glacier level? So you can even monitor that. So global warming, you can learn about, we can teach to our students, or we can teach about probably the cloud cover, or sometimes even the wind direction. So that can be also taught to our students. So yes, some aspects, and even probably if you can put different places, like if I teach about the climatic, if I give one place around Tropic of Cancer, and then one place maybe in the equator, one place in the polar region, and then ask them to explore the different kind of geographical features, the lifestyle, and they can actually create a project on it. So we can relate to it a lot. Thank you so much. I'm looking forward to such questions. So now I hope I answered to it. If not, you can please maybe refine it or give me your questions further, and I will try to answer in my understanding. So then going to the next one, from your contributions which you gave me, I have given my some of the elements which you can use in, and you already suggested. You can use Google Earth to have the environmental changes by using the time-lapse feature. You can also have geography in literature, descriptive writing passages, geometry in nature, natural resources, travel calculations. If you want to make a travel documentary, a brochure, use this. So that we can definitely use it. Then distance measurement, human impact on ecosystem, which can be done through this Google Earth. There is also one element, if you can just explore something which is called as Google Maps. Google Maps, all of us, we know that we use it for using it on the road while we are driving. But apart from that, there is a feature called as the globe version. So in that, there is a globe version where you can actually explore the moon, the space, the solar, some elements of the solar system. Initially, there was something called as Google Sky that is now discontinued, but in spite of that, the global map version, which is there. So try it out. Now going to the next section of it. So again, let me summarize so that we are all there, not just myself, but everybody along with me. So what did we learn today? We learned about basically first the objectives of today's training. We learned about why it is required, what is the meaning of immersive learning, the various instructional models which is there. We learned about Google Earth. We learned about virtual field trip, creating a format, going to Brookfield power plant, and then controlling the various controls. So we have covered a number of sections of today's training. Now we are going to go to the part 5, which is augmented reality, virtual reality, and simulations. So again, these all are part of the immersive learning section. So now a new term, metaverse. I think many of us are recently hearing this term, and we see this kind of advertisement. So when the world around us are progressing so much, we as educators are the smartest ones. Okay, we are creating the smartest people around us. So we should also upgrade our skills and know what is this metaverse? What is this virtual reality? What is augmented reality? So metaverse is a universe of this computer generated system, the 3D universe, which we call about, which is having the virtual reality, augmented reality, simulated situations. So a new term for us, many of us, and a known term for many too. So coming to it, let's dive into the data and see what does data tell us. So if we see right now, 171 million people. I want to read, please. Sarabjit ma'am or anyone else
Yes,
can
ma'am.
just raise your hand. Yes.
Sure. Yeah. Statistics and survey results. 171 million people worldwide are using VR in some form today. 75%, around 75% of Forbes world's most significant brands use AR and VR. Actually, 28% according to virtual reality statistics. The two segments most likely to be disrupted by AR VR are healthcare and education.
Yes, thank you so much. So you can see that the world is using this AR and VR, and the most successful brands are having this. And the sector which is going to be maximum affected is going to be healthcare and education. So education, 28%. Now, if we don't have these kind of skills upgraded, we will be actually not creating the right path, and even opportunities we are going to miss out on it. So let's learn, and educators, we should always keep on learning. So two segments of it. What is augmented reality and virtual reality? It looks similar, but they are not exactly the same. So from the picture itself, you can see that one is using a smartphone and one you can see is using a headset. So there you can see in this smartphone, that is the augmented reality, where you can actually put the virtual world in your real world. And we are going to see how we can do it. So something you want to learn about it, you augment with the help of your smartphone and you place it in your real world around you. And so much more you can learn through it. And then virtual reality through the use of this headset also we can do it. So then, before we start, I want your opinion, please, that in what ways do you believe that using technology like virtual and augmented reality can help shape students' creativity and innovation skills? So if you are using this kind of platform, how will it help you? Collective virtual space, okay? How will it help you to if you're using this kind of technology, this kind of platform, how will it spark the creativity in the students? How will it bring in innovation skills for the future generations? Right now, we are talking about, yes, we are talking about the future skills, but how? What aspect will it cater to? If I'm bringing in today's, we're talking about the future skills that the world is changing. So how will it help us if you're using these? Thank you, Smita ma'am, for contributing and being actively participating in today's session. Can we get more responses, please? Students think out of the box. Wonderful. Yes, they do think out of the box, and we should encourage this divergent thinking very much. It will help in problem solving. Wonderful, Sandhya ma'am. Yes, it will help in problem solving, complex problems. With the help of this, we give them a situation, they see it front of them, they can easily solve it. It will be interesting, it will bring in that creative aspect. Thank you so much. Yes, all of you are correct. And we are going to go to the next section of it. So this, before we start, this VR headset, it is not expensive. We can see it as a school. We can just buy it from Amazon or somewhere, maybe in India, Flipkart or somewhere, and then you can just buy and have one. And one section of your class, maybe one time in your timetable, have this. For example, various kind of activities in science. You can keep like escape room challenges and then have some science challenges, which is there. Or you can have, for example, if you're teaching them about ancient Rome, and then you take them to one of the historical cities like Colosseum, and then you see, with using this virtual headset, you can see the gladiators, you can see the streets around you, and they will learn so much. Imagine somebody in a history lesson, we are just reading one paragraph text about ancient Rome. Will they remember so much? Or you have one time where you provide this kind of headset and they actually go into the city and learn so much more. So they are going to have totally a transformation of teaching methodology and a new platform of experience, which we can provide to the students. So now you can see augmented reality examples in higher education. I want someone to please read the pointers of it. Anyone?
Yeah. Augmented reality examples in higher education. AR brings lessons to life through simulations. Examples include the following: history, reconstructions of the past. Then it comes theater, stage design visualization, science and engineering, laboratory experiments, and in medicine, medical procedures.
Yes, thank you so much. So you can see that if you are teaching a history lesson, this AR can actually reconstruct the past. Sometimes people would say that, oh my God, many students we get to hear, we don't like history lessons. But so much now, if we are having this augmented reality or virtual reality, the history lessons believe me, is going to be one of the most fun-loving subjects, and they will really love to explore, be in that situation, and it will also help them in bringing in this kind of analytical skills. What would they do if they were in that situation? It can also bring in, if you're having a theater setup, it can help in stage design, visualization. Science experiments can be done, lab experiments, without even the fear of a test failure. So that kind of harmful effect will not be there. That can be done with the help of augmented reality. In medical procedures also, it can be done. So these are the examples in higher education. Now you can see over here, augmented reality in the classroom, mathematical visualization, PBL, project-based learning, it can be there, collaboration experience, creativity. They can learn about space, learn about animals, continents, historical landmarks, science simulations. Now, there is another feature, interesting aspect of this, that is text to speech. So if you can see over here, sometimes there's also an augmented reality feature, immersive learning feature, where it is quite a inclusive classroom. There are certain students with dyslexia, visual impairments, or autism spectrum disorders who sometimes find it difficult to read the text. We are quite different what happened in the past. We want to include everybody. So inclusive classroom is a very much feature of future classrooms. And we all should be actually embracing it. This feature of text to speech, where students who cannot read, definitely the braille is there, but then to hear a voice, imagine a text coming to life and which you couldn't read it, you can actually hear the speech. So there are many, if you go to Play Store, there are many such apps which can actually translate this text to speech feature. Even Google, you just randomly put text to speech. There are many such free platforms, some are paid, some are free, which gives this kind of feature. Other than text to speech also, there are many kinds of apps where you can actually write in a diary, a handwriting, and that you change it, you click that picture, you upload it, and the handwriting becomes a text. So we should use these kind of smart tools. We have to keep on upgrading. Remember the fact, 28% of education sector is likely to be disrupted, to be affected more, and we need to upgrade our skills. So now going to the next part, I've given just few apps. You can see over here, just two of them, which all of us, I'm sure, can have it. If you go to Google, this is called the Google Lens. Many of us are using. For example, sometimes I had a class, okay, where if you are giving them in agriculture a number of seeds and then they don't know what is what, they just click this Google Lens and they find out, okay, this seed is this is the name. It will just tell you, just scan the picture and the name will come to you. Sometimes when you're eating food and you don't know what are the ingredients, and then suddenly you put a Google Lens picture and it will give you, okay, these are the ingredients which is there. So you can learn so much around you with this Google Lens. This app is also free, which is called as Augment. You can go it in Play Store and you can download, start visualize 3D models in augment reality. So you can also find this in Play Store. These are free apps which we can use. There are many more such free apps. Please explore and find out which will enhance your teaching and learning. So now there are certain practical implications which are there. We are going to discuss it. So first, let's brainstorm before we go to the practical implications. How can AR be used to visualize complex real-life problems? So what do you think? You saw so much that in the medical field it is being used. What kind of complex real-life situation if we are having and AR can use? Thank you so much. We got it. Arlupa, it is also an AR app. Somebody, all teachers are already doing this. Yes, virtual classes. Thank you. Let's brainstorm what kind of real life situation if it is there, and we can actually learn about it. Can we have this? Field trips, okay. In field trips, what else? If I'm talking about augmented reality, where you are in a different environment, in a different scenario, and what kind of complex real life problems can we face? Imagine a real life complicated problem which can be made simple using AR or VR. Anybody can think? Complex problems? Which are the different complex problem? Think about it. Okay, if you don't have any response, 3D models, teaching them about India when we are in Middle East or any part of the world. Okay, global warming, yes. Air pollution, pot pollution, physics, yes. Very much. Okay, thank you so much, teachers, for contributing. We'll go next. So, if you can see, this is one of the real life situation in which AR is using a complex, or sometimes it can be simple for some, but complex for the people who are going to promote their app. Why are we learning about it right now, about retail? We have to understand how the world around us are working so that we can use the same strategy, learn it first of all ourselves, and then use the methodology to teach it to our students. So we are the smartest ones, creating the smartest people around us. So let's learn more about it now. AR for retail experimentation. So you know that some of us who are in this part of the world in Gulf regions, or some of you might have heard about it also, IKEA. So IKEA, you know that they have launched this app. You can see IKEA Place app. So if you would like to order a kind of furniture, and then you like online, especially people who love online shopping, and then you buy something and then you see that yes, initially we could buy and then exchange, go for it, but now they are making it much more simpler by having a cost reduction too. You can simply place a sofa in your house and see, okay, is this design going to show be enough? Will it fit in my space? You can actually have that kind of thing. And then you don't like it, no, it's not looking good, let's see something else. So you can actually do that with the help of this app. That is, the retail industry is using it. Going on to the next one, another complex situation where they are using in military training. It has revolutionized army training. You can see that a make-believe situation, if there is an enemy approaching from one end, it is used for their tactical training, in tactical scenarios, training the soldiers in these kind of situations. So it is helping them to solve a kind of complex. If they are facing this kind in the real, on the battlefield, what would they do? So even military is using AR. So we saw how retail industry is using AR. Then we are seeing how the militaries are using AR. The third one, even museum artifacts. Many of us must have even seen this, that there is a dinosaur, and then this dinosaur it has come to life, and it is talking about the different kind of eras, the Jurassic area, the Cretaceous period, whichever, and then its evolution and how the fossils and so on. And you can see that we are able to explore the museum artifacts with the help of augmented reality. So it is another application. So we saw the retail industry, we saw the military service, we saw the museum artifacts. Now let's see something more where we can connect. Okay, there is a school in Cape Town, which is in South Africa, and they have done a research to find out the impact of AR. And they have seen that when they are using AR in their teaching methodology, it is enhancing motivation, the attention level. So many times we see that students in our class just looking somewhere else. They want to run out to the washrooms, and so these are decreasing because they can connect. They are interested in the lessons. It is having a sense of satisfaction for both the teacher and the learner. A sense of confidence. Students feel, yes, I know about it. I know where it is, how it works. They can easily learn about it. So that is the case study in Cape Town of using augmented reality. I'm thinking this section of virtual labs, I'm sure many of us are aware. And during the COVID time, also many of us use this kind of virtual labs. So again, use it. If you haven't used, please do it. Okay, so there are simulations, there are models, virtual labs, even CBSE promotes this kind of software and online platforms where you can conduct experimentations. Okay, you can see like flight simulators for computer training, role play simulations, and so on, which these models are actually mimicking the real life situations. And we can understand, okay, this experiment, how it works. It's not, with COVID, in spite of many negativities or whatever, whatsoever, but there were many things which we learned new. And we should not forget these new learnings. In fact, we should actually work on it and enhance our skills in this further and use it for a regular lessons too. So now going on to the next section, which is the policies, the challenges, and the future directions. So before we again go ahead with it, let me again summarize. So I'm just having a mid-plenary after every part, which is there. So firstly, we did the objectives. We discussed what is immersive learning, key concepts. It provides deep learning, experiential learning, reducing our cognitive load. These were the key features. Elements of it, what were they? Virtual reality, augmented reality, mixed reality, simulations. We discussed about conducting a virtual field trip. One example which I gave you was Brookfield Power Plant. We learned through the Google Earth, exploring different parts of the globe. We learned about what is augmented reality, what is virtual reality, few free apps which are there, the virtual labs which many of us are familiar with. Now we are going to see what does the policies, the CBSE structure, the new initiatives, what does it tell us about it? And are there any kind of challenges, any future directions which is there in store for us? So now going on, the highlights, I would like someone from the participants to please read. From a long time, we are going on. Anyone can please, I will give you some time, but please do raise your hand, virtual hands, so that we can have more participation. Please do raise your virtual hands. Yes, Hannah, thank you so much. Please do read.
National Education Policy 2020. The NEP 2020 promoted the use of technology in education, emphasizing a more holistic, student-centric approach. Initiatives from NCRT and Digital India Initiative.
Thank you so much, Hannah ma'am. Yes, so we can see the various policies which is supporting the educational policies and the government initiatives which has led to revolutionizing the education in India. So I think we already had this test also, and many of us are aware about this NEP, that this NEP 2020 is promoting the use of technology in education. It is providing a student-centric approach, and this immersive learning is actually in sync with this, where it is also using technology. It is providing a development, a student-centric approach. In NCRT, I think many of us are using this, the e-Pathshala, which is there, the virtual labs, EduSat, e-learning platforms, use it please. Even these are in sync with the immersive learning. So the government is already thinking much ahead and providing these kind of structure opportunities so that the teachers are empowered. The Digital India Initiative, which was launched in 2015, it also aims to transform India into a digitally empowered society and a knowledge economy. So teachers are building this knowledge economy, and we have to further strengthen the foundation, the students, their base using this kind of technology. Now, what do you think after looking into so many things, that is the virtual field trip which is there, or the Google Earth, the virtual reality, augmented reality, virtual labs, and all kind of initiatives which are there? What challenges do you foresee which we can have, which is there, or we might have in the future, which we might have in the future? Can somebody please write it down? What are the challenges which you think that we might have in the future, or which we can face right now also as educators? We can face, our schools are facing, or the students, they can face any kind of challenges. You can use the chat box to please enter your responses. I hope the question is visible to all.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
I hope
Okay.
they're writing.
What kind of challenges do you think, if we are the future, what are the potential challenges of implementing immersive learning in the classroom? What kind of challenges can we have? Okay, lack of infrastructure. Thank you so much. Yes, it may affect the writing skill. Yes, it can. Internet issues, very much. We can face this kind of issues. Technical resources, lack of resources. Yes, we can have these. Okay, so now it is our duty now to find out how we can minimize and take the best out of it. So definitely human touch is very much essential, and we are trying to enhance. We are not replacing anything. So we are trying to enhance the situation and the learning needs. So now let's go to the challenges. Thank you so much for the educators who contributed. So you can see now challenges and future directions, definitely, which all of us stated was infrastructure. Many of our students, our schools can definitely not have that kind of high internet or digital devices, but we can definitely, as a school, as an individual, we can have not every day, but at least maybe once a week or once a month, one kind of experience as a whole school level, or if not on an individual student level, so that we can definitely find out on the logistics and to provide a better kind of experience to the students. The next one, teacher training. I'm sure this we can all work towards it. Many of us are not trained when we started with our training to have these kind of skills. But now I'm sure if we attend trainings, we explore ourselves, have a broad horizon to learn more, to develop more, we can definitely have this challenge as a strength, so that we can definitely go. Then the next one is funding and resource. Sometimes, yes, a lot of financial aspect is incorporated, but I think if we combine this infrastructure and funding, if not, again, I'm saying on a regular basis, but at least on a small scale, simple, start with simple, and then you can go to a bigger aspect of it. So these are the future challenges which is there. Now, finally, I think we have come towards the end of today's training almost. So let's have a round of summarization, which is there, which we were already doing from time to time. Let's recap the key terms discussed. We discussed about virtual field trips, about Google Earth. So in the virtual field trip, we discussed about 360-degree platform, the roadmap which is there, then about Google Earth, the different kind of layers, the place marks, which was there, the measurement feature, the 3D, 2D, street view aspect, time lapse, cloud cover, so on, the concept of metaverse, a new kind of universe which the students can learn, immersive learning, virtual reality with the use of VR headset, augmented reality with the help of smartphones, virtual labs, the various policies and initiatives, NEP 2020, NCRT initiatives, Digital India initiatives, VR headsets, simulations, the various industries which is using it, and how education sector can use it, the future of inclusive classroom, text to speech feature which is there, and the practical implications which we discussed. So I hope so today, if not everything, something you could find it useful, something you could learn it. And learning is vast. I've just opened the key pointers to it. Now it is your responsibility to explore it further, learn it further, plan an entire lesson plan on it, and see how which can best suit your students. I'm going to share another link with all of you. So one is of Diksha virtual link, virtual lab link, which you can use it. And one is the training evaluation. Please do give me if something was beneficial to you, or if something even there is a room for improvement. Definitely more than happy to hear and then implement it. I'm just putting 2 links. Thank you so much, everyone, for your feedback. And thank you, sir, for giving this kind of opportunity and platform. So that's it from my end. I'm going to end the sharing right now. Can the sharing be removed, please? Stop sharing, yes. So thank you so much, everyone. And thank you, sir, for giving this opportunity. Over to you.
Sarabjit ma'am, let's wind up.
Yes, sir, of course. Thank you so much, ma'am. It was such a wonderful session, and sharing your such valuable insights on immersive learning. It was like, an innovative approach to education, and your time, your enthusiasm, especially for sharing such knowledge, such technological things, which are very easy to use in the class. And I hope it will be very fruitful for all the educators here. They will be using it very nicely, and it will be very engaging for the students. So, dear participants, please note that the certificate link is shared in the chat box. You can share your feedback over there and get the certificates. And ma'am has also shared the link, and I hope you'll be uh, putting all the good feedbacks which is actually required because I feel it's very good. So on behalf of Extra Mile Education and Training and BTech, I Sarabjit Kaur would like to express sincere thanks to Miss Martina ma'am for sharing such valuable insights and words of wisdom. I would like to extend a special thanks to Dr. Abdul sir for his unwavering support and for providing this wonderful opportunity. And at last but not least, thank you so much to all the participants for such incredible enthusiasm that you have shown us today. We sincerely hope we have earned the privilege of your time. Thank you. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Ms. Sarabjit Kaur. That was a wonderful help you have extended. And Martina ma'am, congratulations. The section went very well. It was a wonderful effort, actually. I should say you have put in a lot of effort and prepared the PPT and presented it very well. Though it went a bit lengthy, but we could see a lot of participation from the audience, and they were keenly immersed in the learning, in the immersive learning. So thank you so much for this session, and thank you all participants for your enthusiastic, and patient listening. Definitely, we hope you will implement some of these techniques in the classroom. We are trying our best to give you the best through such resource persons like Martina Gomez and all. Please take it away and let us work together hand in hand so that students will get enriched and interesting lessons. Thank you once again, everybody. Keep connected, and thanks everyone. Good night. Sarabjit ma'am, good night.
Thank you, sir.
Martina ma'am, good
Thank
night.
you, sir. Good night.
Thank you, sir.
Good night.
Good night, everyone.
Okay.